All right, folks, we want to get to this really disturbing story, and this is out of Roswell, and it's at a high school. And our very own Cody Alcorn, he broke this story for us, but this is what's taking place, allegedly. A former Roswell High School educator, a teacher, arrested and accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old student. Police say that Dr. Amanda Katz was the student's teacher at the time. They had this bizarre, and this is according to the criminal complaint, a very bizarre relationship. Before being moved into an administrative role at Roswell High School, she was arrested on Tuesday and granted bond for $25,000. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn joining us in the streaming center right now. And Cody, man, we have been talking about this in the newsroom. Some of it we probably can't talk about on air because we got to keep it at least
right.
PG-13 related. But tell us about this doctor, and what she's accused of.
Yeah, so Dr. Amanda Katz, she was a Roswell High School teacher at one point. Eventually, as you mentioned, Ron, she went over and became an administrative assistant. And she was on the website up until last night when we got word of this arrest. So between Christmas, the day after Christmas, and Valentine's Day weekend, we have uncovered that they spent a lot of time together. They exchanged nearly 20,000 texts over just a couple of months, 600 calls. And apparently this started with a ruse that she wanted to learn Spanish. According to this warrant, that's what she kind of used to befriend this 16-year-old student. And it wasn't just befriending this kid. It was his mother, his siblings. She was tutoring his younger siblings. She was giving his siblings gifts.
Wow.
And this warrant is several pages long, and they did mention a lot of these text exchanges, which you cannot mention on air. Yeah. But what's interesting about this is the grooming part of this. And while she's not charged with grooming, it's part of this whole ruse of how you get involved, a 55-year-old woman with a 16-year-old kid.
I mean, I just can't imagine. 55, he's 16, 20,000 texts. So this relationship possibly, allegedly, been going on for quite some time. Did they talk about that?
2 months.
What, 2 months?
It started around Christmas. And what's disturbing is during this time, she convinced him to even leave the school, enroll in a different school to help him get out earlier, because her overall goal was to move him in with her. And that
this boy in with her.
And she would financially take care of him. That's some of the allegations here. And the other thing is how this all came about, how it was exposed, is apparently told Dr. Katz his mom's never been on a vacation.
Okay.
So she is, again, giving him gifts, all kind of things. So she says, let's take a cabin getaway, took them to Helen. Rented a cabin for him, his mom, siblings, and Helen, 2-bedroom.
Okay, wait, okay, so right there. I mean, this is just incredible. So she allegedly rents a cabin for the boy, for the mom, and a sibling as well.
Yes.
And they're
the whole family.
The whole family. She rents it while she's still allegedly having this relationship with this 16-year-old boy.
Valentine's Day weekend.
Valentine's Day, and they go up to North Georgia.
To Helen.
To Helen. What happened?
So
allegedly?
She has the room. The family has the living room. Apparently, the 16-year-old and Dr. Katz leave the house. During this trip out, they end up having sex in the car. Come back, and mom, apparently this might have been the first time mom is around them together and said, hey, look, something is weird here. Got a mom instinct. So at some point she grabs his phone on this trip, and when she opens the phone, she discovers these text messages, and a lot of them. We're talking 20,000. So at some point overnight, she packs all the kids up and said, we're leaving. Dr. Katz wakes up, no one's in the house, and she goes ballistic.
So, okay, so they're all in this cabin together, this house together, whatever, up there in North Georgia. She's asleep. Dr. Katz is asleep, according to the complaint, the criminal complaint. She wakes up, the family is gone.
Gone.
And so how did she respond to that, according to the complaint?
Well, she actually sends text messages to this 16-year-old. And I'll read some of these I'll skip some of the language. But at 8:30 in the morning, she responds to she's 55, he's 16. And these are text messages she's sending. You, explicit, broke my heart. You left me alone. You, I was yours. And you, language, left me. It is all I can think about. You couldn't say no and you didn't man up, and you knew. Deep down, you had to know. After everything I have said or given to you, without hesitation, you left me. I don't want anything to do with you. This is probably the worst thing anyone has ever done to me. 55-year-old woman talking to a 16-year-old.
Wow.
You abandoned me. You did. Not your mom. You could have said no. Ask questions. A child, that was my mistake. I trusted you and you showed me why I can't. That's all I need to know about you.
That is okay. So now, if she's having this conversation with someone who's my age or someone who's your age, I mean, you know, if you're an adult, you have two adults, maybe you have a relationship that goes sour. That happens all the time. But this relationship, according to the complaint, it sounds like she's talking to a grown man.
And the other text, she knows this is wrong because in some of those exchanges, like, we shouldn't be doing this. Let's hide this. It gets crazier.
Oh.
So this Warren alleges she then goes back to Roswell High School after Valentine's Day weekend.
And she's still a teacher? Or
Still a
is she-
teacher. Well, she's
Okay.
the administrative assistant.
Yeah.
And starts talking to her colleagues in a, quote, manic state that her boyfriend dumped her and that his mom won't let them be together. Talking to her colleagues, and then she has to say who this kid is. He's 16.
Okay, these are colleagues at
Roswell
Roswell
High
High
School.
School.
She is talking about this relationship out loud. So that then prompts an internal investigation because they're like, you're talking about a kid, Dr. Katz.
Yeah.
So that spins this up, and we're not really for sure what happened with the Fulton County Schools investigation. All we know is that DFACS made a case, it got turned into Roswell, and Roswell picked this up and moved forward with it. But it's wild because it shows you not only allegedly did she befriend him, but his family. There might have been a language barrier a little bit because, again, he was a Hispanic young man.
Yeah.
She used gifts and befriended his mother, too,
Oh, boy.
and was tutoring the younger kids. So the sex acts apparently happened at her home, inside her car. She would show up allegedly to these warrants to his place of work, and he would come outside and have sex in the car, and he'd go back to work.
Wait, okay. He was a working teenager
Yes, and she would show up at his job.
at his job, and they would allegedly do whatever the complaint said that
Yes.
they were doing
In the car.
in the car.
And it goes on during the forensic interview with this young man. They said, look, you're not in trouble. Please tell us everything happened.
Yeah.
There were plans that she wanted him to move in with her. She would financially take care of him. She had plans to maybe take him to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that's not what I want to do. And the sad thing about all of this is, again, there's a double sword here. There's a double, if this was a man versus if it was a woman
Yeah.
suspect. Because a lot of people online were like, it's a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But again, it's sexual assault at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And what he said in his forensic interview was like, I miss my friends. I miss my sports team. Because again, this Warren alleges she convinced him to leave that school that he was popular in, very
Yeah.
well known, his sports, and go to an alternative school where he could graduate early to get out earlier to start earning money. But when you look at why she was doing that, it was for her own benefit, not for his.
For her own benefit. And the thing about it, even if she tried to move away to another state of all this, if the allegations are true, I mean, still that is considered statutory rape because he is underage, So, and if the allegation is true, where would you get the mindset that this would be okay and that you wouldn't get caught?
Right.
That's what's so strange.
And she
about
knew,
it.
because in these text messages, there's some very graphic text messages, and the ones that they included, and one of them, she's like, I don't want to go to jail. I won't do well in jail. I'm too pretty, is one of the texts she sent him, quote. Some of it's very vulgar, but
Yeah.
she knew, because at the beginning, she said, this isn't right, let's hide this.
Yeah.
But she kept saying, if I can't have you, it's just, again, when you step back and you realize this is a 55-year-old woman allegedly sending this to a child, not another man or another
Yeah.
woman. And
Yeah.
it's disturbing, and it's not the first case. We have a lot of details in this one. Obviously,
Yeah.
over in Douglasville, we have another teacher that's,
that's
facing
right.
charges, multiple kids.
Yeah.
She's accused of having sex with. Again, though, it's we're seeing online talk about it's a double standard. These are women versus with male victims, where sometimes when you see a male suspect with female victims, there's a lot different
Yeah.
backlash.
Oh,
but
right.
some say, well, what 16-year-old kid doesn't want this?
Right,
But the
right,
fact
right.
is, it's not their. It's still illegal.
It's illegal. You cannot, if it allegedly happened, you can't have it. So you're going to have this story tonight on 11
We're gonna have a
Live
lot more of
News.
the text tonight at
A lot
11.
more on the text. All right, Cody Alcorn, always on the case.
Yeah.
Not only just this one, the one up there in Douglasville as
Yep.
well, which is another story altogether.